This week on the latest episode of The Big Show, we are joined by Shawn Edwards, a film critic and colleague who joins us to discuss the 4th annual Critics' Choice Association celebration of Black cinema. This star-studded evening honors the best in Black film achievement for the past year. Edwards is the event's executive producer and will break down all of the evening's festivities as well as discuss some of the high-profile talent that will attend this year's ceremony. Also opening this week, and we may have reviewed it last week, but I want to talk about it again, is Power of the Dog and Hand of God. We'll review both films, and we'll have all that and more on episode 482 of Keeping It Real with FilmGordon. Let's go. All right, and welcome to the latest episode of Keeping It Real with FilmGordon. I am Tim Gordon. I don't know what the heck I did, Charles. Shawn was there, then he wasn't. And now he's there again. So did I do something, or was that you, Shawn?
I don't know, but I'm back. It just clicked off.
All right, man. Well, basically, Shawn, I wanted you on today, man, because this weekend, we're getting ready for the 4th annual celebration of Black cinema. Which is an event. And I think, Shawn, I've attended all 4 of these. I think.
No, you didn't attend the one last year because it was virtual, but you saw it.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. I said from the
I'm just messing with you.
Man. So this is an evening that I always look forward to. I always give you a lot of props for the standpoint that you've been such a champion and got behind this idea. And this year's lineup is just crazy. Like, I've seen some we've done in the past, never like this, Shawn. So talk a little bit as the executive producer of this event and one of the board members for the Critics' Choice Association. Yeah. Talk about your vision of how you kind of conceived and put together this year's event.
Well, I mean, the whole idea of celebrating Black cinema actually started for me back in 2006. It was an event that I'm based in Kansas City. So it was an event that we created here first, way back then. It was actually it was like a challenge or a bet. So I work at Fox 4 News, which is a Fox affiliate in Kansas City as film critic, entertainment reporter. And so, we have different departments. So we have like a department called Creative Services, which is in charge of all the promotional stuff the station does. And so like we're what you call a legacy station in our market. Been around for 60 years, 65 years, #1 station in the market for 30 years. So we create these different events for different pockets of the community. We reach out to the Italian community, the Hispanic community, the gay community, the this community, the that community. We really didn't have anything in terms of programming to reach out into the Black community. So the head of our creative services department was a Black guy by the name of Damon Bryant. And I just, he pulled me into his office and asked me if I had any ideas. And, I stay in my lane. I was like, sure, let's do something movie related. And I remember sitting across from his desk and I came up with this idea because I remember when I was a kid, I used to always watch the American Film Institute's 100 Best Movie list. And you sit there and watch it and they count down from 100 to 1 and ain't none of the movies on that list anything you grew up watching. So I used to hate the AFI. I can't hate the AFI anymore. Full disclosure, I'm a part of AFI now. So
which is why the list looks better.
career advancement. AFI is wonderful. Done a lot of stuff with them. They're great. Bob Gazzelli, wonderful guy, CEO. But I was inspired by those AFI lists. So I remember telling Damon Bryant, I said, I want to do this list of the 100 best Black movies ever. He immediately started laughing and was like, there can't be 100. I was like, yeah, sure there are. So that was my challenge. And I went and researched and I rewatched probably about 150 movies, narrowed the list down to 100. And then the station helped me co-produce a documentary that we did on the history of Black film. We made it free to the community. We showed it at this movie theater in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District. And that's where the idea was born. We did that like 4 years in a row. So I did this documentary called The 100 Best Black Movies Ever. The next year we did the 50 funniest Black movies ever. The next year we did the 25 best Black sports movies ever. And then the final year we did the 25 best Black romantic movies ever. Each year we produced a documentary. We would chop it up and show segments on the newscast. We made the event free to the public. So that's where the initial idea was born. So now fast forward to 2013, and people find this hard to believe, but this was before the era of streaming. This was way before diversity issues, inclusion issues. This is way before hashtag Oscar so white. But you guys know this because you guys are film heads. You guys know about movies. 2013 was considered a banner year for movies about Black content. You had like 12 Years a Slave. You had the Mandela movie. Yeah, you had like, it was like 4, but that was a lot back then. Right? It was like four big movies, and you also had the documentary 20 Feet from Stardom. So that's when I came up. I wanted to revive the idea that we did here in Kansas City, and I sat down with the powers that be at the Critics' Choice Association and just pitch the event. But in terms of pitching events, you just can't pitch an event. You gotta pitch the creative side of the event, but you also got to like present the business side of it. So I had figured out how to do the event, how to make the event happen, how to get the event paid for, how to get people show. Like it's a full process. I know a lot of times people think this stuff's magic, but at the end of the day, it's always about the money. How do you get it paid for? How do you recoup the money you use to pay for it? How you make a profit? You got to hire staff. Everybody. When you do an event like this, you got to hand out a lot of checks. So you got to figure out how those checks are going to clear. So I came up with the full, business plan, the execution plan, the marketing plan. All this is in play. And so we launched that event in 2014. The first event was at the House of Blues in Los Angeles. We featured, we honored all those releases that came out in 2013, but the centerpiece was 20 Feet from Stardom. All the women that were featured in the documentary performed like this concert at the House. It was actually pretty amazing. The saddest thing about the whole damn thing is none of it was really archived. So, it's like. Well,
I mean, we were there. I took pictures of it. But you're right. We didn't. Yeah, but it was hot though. It was a great idea.
The only elements that existed at the events, like we like slaves and griots, like retelling the story verbally. It ain't no high definition. Like we can't never, like I can't, like 50 years from now, I can't be like Questlove and do a Summer of Soul where I find the tapes that have been hidden in a basement somewhere and recreate a documentary. Like I don't think there's any video, and this is way before most people had like cameras on their smartphone. You gotta remember times have really changed since like 2013, 2014. I don't even think there's any video that's floating around on like social media. It's like, it's one of them phantom events where like the 500 people that were there and that was it. But over time, it seems like you could have sworn like 2,000 people were there because everybody claims they have been there. Like it's one of them things. Like, nah, it wasn't that many people there.
Not at all, man. I got great stories for that night. I do.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it was star power, but it wasn't crazy star power. Nah. So we did it because we were just planning on doing that as a one-time thing. But, Black content, fortunately, has grown, and there's more and more. So we revived it in 2019. So we did the second annual was really cool. We honored Eddie Murphy, Nia Long, Chiwetel Ejiofor,
Ruthie Carter.
Yeah, Ruth Carter was there. I mean, it was a great night. But I mean, Eddie Murphy was the centerpiece. No, he was actually, it was cool, man. He was happy to be there. Like his speech was hella funny. It was a really big deal. Then unfortunately, the next year, the pandemic changed everybody's game plan. So we went virtual, but we're glad to be back in person this year. It's a great lineup. I mean, this year, the centerpiece is Halle Berry.
Wait, Shawn, before you jump into it, see, this is part of what I wanted to ask you because you've kind of gone through it, right? So 2013, 2014, you honored what was out that year, right? Then when you came back in 19, we just kind of touched on, there was Eddie Murphy there, like you said, Ruthie Carter, because, Black Panther had been the previous year, and plus she was a part of this one. But this year, what I was really surprised by was that, and I think you hit the right tone, right? Because The Harder They Fall is a huge film. Passing is a huge film. You even went back, which I thought was genius, when you touched on a couple of the principles from shows like Ted Lasso. So when I was asking you about the concept, thank you for giving the audience the history, because I was there for a lot of that. But I wanted to get kind of like a peek behind the curtain of like how you devise and kind of conceptualize this year, because this year is a huge monumental jump from what you've done in the past.
Well, the whole game plan is the whole concept, like bits and pieces that I borrowed from other things. There's really no such thing as a new idea. So like I said, I was inspired by the AFI 100 best list. That was the root of it. The actual celebration event is just a straight ripoff of the Kennedy Center honors, because it's not an award show. There's no list of nominees and you open an envelope and the winner is. They're not competing. They're not competing for best picture. They're not competing for best actor. So what we want to do is like how the Kennedy Center honors, they pinpoint people who have contributed to the culture, over time. And so what we did is we wanted to make this make sense. So we wanted to pinpoint people who have contributed to the culture over time, but to also make it current, tie in with a current project that they're affiliated with. So like Halle Berry is a perfect example. Like she most definitely deserves to be honored for her entire career. This year made sense because she's doing something new. Right. For the first time, she's directing her own film. That's what this celebration's all about. That's a monumental achievement, but the time is right to celebrate her own career, but she actually has something current that we can talk about. Same thing with Will Smith. Will Smith's been a terrific actor for a long time, but he has a current project that makes this current. So, he's got King Richard. Let's celebrate Will, but also honor him for King Richard. Same thing with Jennifer Hudson. She's been killing it, but she's got a current project. So that's kind of how we all meshed it together, because you still want to have some relevancy, because if you just go back and you honor a bunch of people who either aren't living anymore or they haven't done anything in years, it doesn't create very much like interest for the general public, because at the end of the day, this thing is televised, and when you start talking television, you're talking ratings, and you need eyeballs, and you gotta make this thing also current as possible. So it's almost like an algorithm. There's a lot of things at play. And then we also wanted to reach out to some lesser known people and just say, hey, look, you delivered a killer performance, or you directed a killer film, but you may not be that known. But what you're doing definitely represents excellence in Black cinema, because we want to be relevant on all fronts. You can't just honor all like legends who have been around for 2, 3, 4 decades. There's people who've only been around for 2 or 3 years. They're doing exceptional work, and they deserve love as well.
Well, the thing that's interesting about you, man, and it's funny because I think you shared some stuff today I didn't even know, and I've known you for like 20 plus years, man. But it's always,
you didn't know.
Yeah, well, about the journey. I know we really have never sat down and like I've asked you, I just kind of deal in the moment. It's funny because all of us, Shawn, are literally like, in all transparency for the audience, I'm a member of Shawn's committee for Celebration of Black Cinema with the Critics' Choice Association. This whole—
Well, it ain't my committee, it's the Critics' Choice
Well,
committee.
you know what I'm talking about. I'm on the committee that works on this show. But my point is that, I think about you, I think about Wilson, I think about Jamal Finkley, I think about, the old heads in our group, right? And everybody has this love of Black cinema, but we all got there from different lanes, but we all converge and kind of meet. And it's always interesting to listen to everybody else's stories, especially yours. Yeah, because yours is your journey and my journey kind of parallel, because we were putting the Black Reel Awards together when you were working with AFCA and doing stuff with Celebration back in Kansas City. So even though we weren't really connected like we are now, it was funny because everybody sort of saw the same thing, and we were like part of that generation, and you think about people like Jeff Friday, you think about Gil and some other folks who all kind of see this thing that we're trying to do. It would be cool one day if all of us kind of, like Voltron got together and created like this huge kind of thing, but that's another story, Shawn. I just
that's true. You're gonna almost have to though, because like I'm one of those people who believe that fragmentation doesn't really help anybody. I think you needed like one big solid thing because, there's only so much that can go around, from a financial standpoint and from an audience standpoint. Right. It's like, how much, because I already firmly believe there are too many award shows anyway. I remember like yesterday, like the HCA Awards announced. I'm like, what the hell is that? Like,
the New York Film Critics Association, National Board of Review. So this is that time, Shawn, we get all those sorts of announcements that happen.
But I just think it's a lot out there for consumers to digest. Like I said, you had HCA nominate that nobody knows what that is. So I think if we came together as a collective, people wouldn't, because you're doing this I don't know why anybody else is doing anything, but I know we're doing this because you want to introduce this stuff to the general public, and the general public can digest so much.
Right. But, like I said, man, I commend you. It's funny because I've told you privately, and I'll say it publicly, you've inspired some of the steps that you've taken along your journey have inspired me. I was like, oh, I see Shawn was able to pull that off. I think I could try that one. So, hey, man, we are all a part, as you said, of a larger collective. But I really wanted to salute you because I looked at that lineup. Now, let's talk a little bit about the lineup. You talked a little bit about Hallie and Will, but there are so many folks that we're honoring this year. Kind of give the audience, man, a much larger view.
Well, like you said, it starts at the top with Hallie because she's getting the Career Achievement Award. Then you got Will getting the Actor Award. And then you got Jennifer Hudson getting the Actress Award. But the reason why to be honest, the reason why it got bigger is because for the first year ever, we're also honoring television. And, we probably should have did that years ago because, television's been in terms of diversity, television's been way ahead of movies for a long time. It's where a lot of like Black talent in front and behind the camera really get a lot of opportunities because the feature film game is so really difficult and tough, but television is where it's at. So we got a chance to expand in terms of television, and we got a chance to honor Danielle Brooks from Robin Roberts Presents Mahalia Jackson. It was fantastic. We got a chance to honor Barry Jenkins. The Underground Railroads is just an incredible series. I don't think it gets enough attention. I'm still a little upset about how ignored that series, although it wasn't as ignored as Small Acts that Steve McQueen presented last year, which got woefully ignored both on the TV and on the film side. It's like, that's kind of what inspired us to do TV because, man, I wish we would have done television last year so we could have recognized Small Acts. I thought that entire thing just got—
That's great.
Man, how do you sweep that under the rug? But they did. So, but yes, we get a chance.
I think the problem with Small Acts was also that it really was a movie. It was a series of movies.
Like 5 movies. Yeah. But Shawn, I wanted to ask you, because you were talking about Underground Railroad, and I'm sorry, Charles, for cutting you off. Underground Railroad, I tried to watch that series, and I couldn't get past the first episode. So I understand what Barry Jenkins did. But that whole sort of traumatic thing, man, and it was the same thing what Ava did When They See Us. I couldn't get past the first episode of that. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying for me, I got a certain amount of bandwidth and there's certain stuff that I just can't watch.
Yeah, but it's genius. You should actually go back and watch Underground Railroad though. It's because you watch everything else. You got to watch that. It's it's incredible.
I've said the same thing to him, Shawn, and he's like, I can't do it. I can't. He's really a wuss. He can't handle that the realism.
Yeah, but how you going? But you watch Dune.
Yeah, but I think it's not about the length or all of that. I'm talking about from a psychological aspect as a Black man.
I'm not talking about length either. You watch Dune. Dune was excruciating mentally. You watch Dune. You watch Come On.
Shawn, there's a big difference between watching trauma and watching something long that has
Schindler's List.
Yeah, that's true. I was able to watch Schindler's List. That's true.
You watched The Pianist. You watched all that. You read The Diary of Anne Frank, but you can't watch Underground Railroad.
Yeah, I got nothing, man. I'm challenged by my friend. When I that opening episode, when I saw them at that they're drinking lemonade while that dude is being hung and burnt. I was like, dude, I got to tap out, man. I can't go further on this one. That's all I'm
That's
saying.
what happened. Yeah, but I mean, it's cool. But no, it's worth being. I mean, Barry Jenkins is a genius. So if you get a chance, you should definitely check it out. But that's why I'm glad we expanded the television, because we're able to honor a black. What's the correct title? I always botch the title. Black woman sketch show. What's it called?
Oh,
Yeah.
a black woman sketch show. Robin Thede and that whole crew.
Yeah, and Anthony Anderson, who's killing it. Like he's
last season of Blackish, man.
Yeah, and he's also a quiet assassin behind the scenes. He just doesn't get a lot of credit for it. So we're able to do some things like that, honor some people. My man Keenan, Keenan does not get enough credit for keeping SNL afloat for 15 years.
Very true.
When people talk about keeping SNL afloat, it's always Eddie Murphy, Will Ferrell. But I mean, Keenan's every bit as his run on SNL is every bit as impressive as Eddie Murphy, Will Ferrell. He's not as big as an Eddie Murphy or Will Ferrell, but in terms of what he's done on SNL,
16 years.
Yeah, but he's never been whacked though. That's the thing. He's never been whacked. He's always there's whole seasons where he was by far the funniest person on the show. He never got any credit.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, but that's why I said I am very excited about how this thing is progressing. And, now is this your first executive producer credit on the show, or have you been executive producer last year as well?
All of them. I'm like creator / executive producer. No, all of them. It's just hard to keep track.
Yeah, that brother's my idol, man. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man.
It ain't that big. It's not that big. Nobody knows what a producer is anyway. Plus, you just got to make sure that everybody's black SUV is the same size.
So Shawn, again, I realize I see what you're doing, because I do it a lot too. You busy doing the work, man. So you're not really trying to accept the praise right now. Take the praise, bruh. You are. No,
I just said nobody knows what a producer does, man. It's like, you just gotta make sure that the hardest part of the whole thing is putting the lineup together, because nobody wants to go first. Only Halle can go last because she's getting the biggest award. So,
wait a minute, man. You gonna put Will Smith before Halle Berry? Yeah. I'm just teasing, man. I'm not. Will is the big. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, Will is the biggest thing in the room, but that's another story.
Will is not an Oscar. Will is not an Oscar winner. Will is not an Oscar winner.
Will is not an Oscar winner, but Will is a super duper A+ list star. I mean, huge. So I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying,
he's not getting the biggest award though. Now, Will might be the most famous person, but the most valuable person, the two most valuable people in terms of post exposure would probably be Halle Berry and Jennifer Hudson, just because they're worth money on the red carpet, they're worth money in the room, and their speeches will be worth money afterwards.
And they both are Oscar winners. I mean, so that's also another winners.
Yeah. Barry Jenkins is an Oscar winner too. Yeah. But he's not, nobody, Barry Jenkins can walk
down the street and like 5 people just walk past. Yeah.
I mean, Ava's a big deal too. And she's also getting a Trailblazer Award, which we're naming after Melvin Van Peebles. So his son is coming in town to present that, which is cool.
I thought that was a wonderful touch, man. It really was. I really like that.
Yeah, because in many ways, Mario should be recognized too. I mean, New Jack City, in my opinion, is like it's a freaking masterpiece. I mean, it's like, they needed Posse and he did Panther, and he did Badass is really good. And people overlook Badass all the time, where he actually played his father, but yeah, he's coming in town to do that. That's a really big, that's a big moment. I'm really happy about that, because now we can actually I think that's a great way how you honor people from the past. Mm-hmm. Just rename different awards after them, so they can incorporate it into the show and they keep the show contemporary. I'm just, like I said, the hard part is there's a lot going on, so you got to keep that running time slim. That's always a challenge too.
All right, bro. So we're talking Monday night, and when will people have an opportunity, Shawn, to watch it? It's not going to be live.
No. It's not live. They'll get to watch it. It's exactly like the Kennedy Center Honors, how they do the event. nobody knows when it happens, and then you
Right.
see the rebroadcast on CBS. So we're going to do our rebroadcast on Next Star affiliate stations. That's like 220 stations across the U.S., including KTLA in Los Angeles, WGN in Chicago. KTLA bought the rights to premiere it in January, but the rest of the country will see it. We're tying it in through into Black History Month, and then we'll promote the broadcast through Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, and Vudu. So we're going to do this companion thing where we're going to take all the honorees and then curate their best films that you can watch on Rotten Tomatoes, Fandango, and Vudu, and then tell people when they can watch the Celebration of Black Cinema to get the word out. So we're starting to create these partnerships, which is cool. So we got the Next Star partnership, the Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, Vudu partnership, and like every Black event, you have to get that liquor sponsor. So Smirnoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shawn Edwards. See, you know, that's what I'm saying. Shawn is working.
Every Black event got to have that. You know, you got to have that liquor sponsor. We got to stay true to 1492.
I thought you were going to say, you said Smirnoff. I thought you were going to say Hennessy, because, you know, that's really the dark liquor Black event.
Nah, but they were trying, but I wanted to keep I wanted to keep the alcohol like neutral, specific, because it's a Black event. I didn't want to make it a black. I didn't want to make it a midnight event. You put Hennessy on there, that's too Black. You gotta have a little bit of that's too Black. Like that's Source Awards Black.
Wow. Yeah, 95 Source Awards Black. That's what I said.
Yeah.
All right, Shawn. So you got anything else, man, you want to drop about the show? You know, before we let you go.
No, it's just, I mean, it's you know, it's like a high wire act. It's still COVID. So,
right.
You know, trying to make sure everybody can get to LA is a challenge. We already lost one because he can't get out of France. So
you talking about one of the honorees?
Yeah, Omar can't get out of France.
Damn.
Oh,
American.
What's
What's that thing called?
You talking about?
No, American, the variant.
Yeah.
Is that how I'm pronouncing it? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, he can't get out of France.
I can't get out of France, dude. So.
I thought it was a transformer. I don't know.
Yeah. You just gotta. It's a lot of moving. It's a lot of moving pieces because it's still a pandemic thing. So you know, COVID protocols and a lot of fingers crossing because man, it's crazy.
Well, brother, as I said, man, you know,
it's gonna be fun though. As long as Halle Berry show up, I'm cool.
All right. Well, you know, I think you know, my significant who's going said that as long as Idris Elba shows up, she's fine. But
okay, yeah, everybody's got their one. Like right now, we looking good. We just one down, but it's just what's today? Friday.
Yeah.
We gotta get through the weekend. We'll get through the weekend.
Well, we don't have a lot of international folk because I think the people who are here we should be good.
Yeah, we just got to depend on where these people are though, because you know everybody's working because everybody's on active. That's the one thing. Everybody's on an active movie, so you got to figure out where they at, where they coming from. But right now we good though. So you know, one thing I will say, all the women will be there because they got to hire glam squads. It's like a 3-day prep thing for them. So,
what is this attire? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What is the attire?
Whatever you want, man. It's LA. You know how LA is. It's not black.
See, Shawn, but I can't come in there dressed like some of our critics who are gonna have some chucks on, and you know, people are dressed. I mean, you know, I'm trying to get an idea. We know what the main show.
You got to come in how you feel. You got to represent yourself, man. I mean, you know, my grandparents always told me you can never be overdressed, but you can always be underdressed.
Now, people don't know Shawn. You've never seen Shawn at these events, man. Shawn is never underdressed. I'm trying to keep up. I just need to know. I'm trying to get an idea. I want to just be in the room and not look ridiculous.
No, I'm not on black. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I gotta be in front of people. So I mean, I can't. You know, I'm in the show, and it's televised.
Well,
Man,
I'm not in the show.
You're the
I'm in
creator,
the
executive producer. You can come in any way you really want.
so you can
But
just
I
do
ain't trying
you.
to have somebody. I ain't trying to have somebody text me that I went to second grade with. That happened to this in Madison, Wisconsin. Like, brother, did bad.
Wow.
Like that
All
brother
right,
did
bro.
bad. Man,
Well, I'm looking forward.
It's fun. No, it's fun. And then 3 days later, we got Celebration of Latina Cinema, which is really good. That's virtual though. Unfortunately, I was heartbroken about that. That's what I'm saying. And then January 9th, we got the big show. I'm just trying to keep this new variant from scaring everybody, so we can actually meet in person.
So last thing before I let you go, Shawn, this year we've actually moved venues. Like you talked earlier about, what was it? The Hard Rock, not Hard Rock, the
House of Blues.
House of Blues, where we did the show. So this year you got everything at the Fairmont. Is it the Fairmont Plaza or Fairmont?
Fairmont Century Plaza Hotel.
Fairmont Century Plaza. Thank you, sir.
It used to be called the Century Plaza Hotel, but Fairmont bought it. But LA knows it as the Century Plaza, so they kept that brand because they used to be Ronald Reagan's favorite hotel.
So why the move to the Century Plaza, man, for these events now?
Because it's super nice and it's where the stars want to be. And the room is designed to where you can broadcast out of it. They spent $2 billion on the restoration, remodeling, whatever you call it. It's when you see it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. It's where you should it's where stars should show up.
Got you. All right, bro. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
House of Blues was fun, but I mean, we passed House of Blues. I mean, plus House of Blues don't exist in LA no more.
Right on Sunset, man. It was a gorgeous location. It was nice.
Yeah,
man.
but they tore it down to build condos, man. Progress must move on. It's like, man, nah.
So one more question. Since you've been executive producer and creator, there were some people that were at that very first one, and I'm still trying to figure out why was Penny Marshall at the Celebration of Black Cinema?
She got an invite. She was cool.
Come on, man. We can have allies too.
Yeah, bro, I was so shocked when I saw her. I was like, Laverne, what you doing here?
Man, she got an invite and rolled through, man. It's always some unexpected pop-ups. She was cool, man. She was chilling.
She was. She had a ball.
I mean, at some point, this is going to, Black is what set the tone, culturally, pop culturally, at some point you're going to see Brad Pitt up at this joint.
Oh, well, he should be up at his joint. I mean, we've honored him. I mean, he's produced a bunch of films, 12 Years a Slave. I mean,
Did he show up?
Yeah.
He showed up to your thing?
No. He didn't show up to our thing. I'm getting him to show up to your thing. Your thing right now is hotter than my thing.
Nah, it ain't about that. I thought he showed up. I was like, did he show up? That'd be cool. No, Brad, what? He produced Moonlight, 12 Years a Slave, and Selma.
Yeah.
And he got 2 Oscar wins out of those, didn't he?
He showed up dead, man. So that's what I was saying. At some point, that would be the surprise. Like, oh, snap, Brad Pitt is here.
Brad like to be low key on that. I don't think Brad would he would deflect it. I don't know. We'll see. Brad's cool though.
He's Shawn Edwards. That's what we call him, deflected.
No, Brad don't we talked to him about it. I was trying to get Africa to do something with Brad, but that's a whole different story.
No, I got you, bro. Well, man, I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna see you.
I'm just flying out there.
When am I flying out?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Say, yeah, I'm going tomorrow too.
So I will reach out to you because I got to talk to you about another project that
cool. Let's do it. I'm just too tired to fly out tonight, man. Because I was just in New York, so I'm like, I need a day on the ground.
Bro, your life, man, your schedule. I don't know how you getting it done, man. I don't know, but it's that season. It's that season right now.
No, all the work was done weeks. The hard part was done months ago.
Right.
Like script and all that. That's, man. Because you do that stuff late at night when you're sitting at home. The hard part was done a long time ago. Now it's just now you just manage it, make sure everybody's in the right place, and then real life gets in the way because Jernay Smalley was supposed to be one of the presenters, and then her brother went to trial, and she's like, "Ooh, I gotta slip out."
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you gotta have somebody else on speed dial, you know, because she was presenting one of the she was initially presenting the Halley.
Wow. Yeah, but you know, and no disrespect, man. Her brother, man, my God. You know, and it continues. So I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna leave it alone. But
I mean,
Shawn,
people do what they everybody grown, man. I
They
don't
are.
get to play. I don't get to play or the setup, but you know, you gotta take responsibility.
Not for me.
I knew something was wrong with that story from the beginning because I ain't never heard of no Subway being open at 2 a.m. Nor have I ever wanted a Subway sandwich at 2 a.m. And if I'm famous and need a Subway sandwich at 2
Somebody
a.m.,
go get it.
Somebody go get it. That's right. That's right.
There it is.
I'm not even famous. I'm not even rich or famous. And if it's 2 a.m., I'm not getting my own sandwich at Subway.
Well, bro, I will reach out to you a little later on.
They said it was like 2 degrees that night.
Oh yeah, it was cold. Chicago's always cold. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've run into a lot of people, but I've never ran into anybody just carrying bleach on the ready.
Shawn Chappelle.
I think that story was bogus from the jump. Like,
Shawn, I'm gonna hit you later on, man. So we need to meet this weekend when you get some time. But bro, thanks for stopping through. As I said, once we get the official dates on when folks at home can watch it, I definitely want people to check it out.
Yeah, I'll give you the city by city breakdown with the time so we can get them. Nielsen still matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bruh, hey, thanks for doing what you do, man. You know,
and we gotta have a new award next year. Most creative screenplay writer, Jesse Smollett. That's a great movie. He wrote the hell out of that.
You see, I left it alone. I wasn't me.
He wrote the hell out of that. And that was good. That was a good scene, though.
Man.
It's very
Stop
creative.
it, Shawn.
It's very creative.
That's my man, Shawn, boy. He go out with a laugh just like me, boy.
I told him, I sent him a text. Look, I sent him a text before the show. I said, "You ready to rock and roll?" He said, "Absolutely." And he did.
That's cool. Sorry, I'm in this. All the studios are taken, man. There's still real work going on in Kansas City. So I'm in the freaking conference room.
Hey, man, you look good, bro.
This is the room where you either get hired or fired. So.
What is wrong with you, man? Look, Shawn, go do some open mics someplace. I will sit in the audience and support you, bro.
This is the room. When you come in here, it's only two things happening.
Oh man,
that's why it's available.
That is too funny, man.
All right, so no one's getting fired today.
No, they're not. But thank you, brother, for stopping through, man.
All right, go open your Netflix box. Open your Netflix boxes.
they're already open, man. I wish I could pan around so you can see my library.
Well, I know I get all my packages sent to the station. I just got like 6 today. So
yeah,
it's like, man,
they're flying in here.
That's why Shawn said Netflix is an ally. We like Netflix.
Just cut me a check. Just cut me a check, though. Save all the man. Let's cut me a check. Like, what's the value of everything y'all sent? $630. I'd rather have the $630.
You don't want the book, man. You don't want the books. The sweatshirts.
No, I'm not gonna wear the sweatshirt. You can read the scripts online.
It's not like they send you a sweatshirt that fits.
That too. I don't have a DVD player. I work hard, so I'm at a higher caliber of wine that they send.
He didn't like the wine. Damn, Shawn.
The wine they send always gives me that pinch headache.
Watch this. Miss Fox, that was Shawn. That was not Tim. Tim is appreciative.
They know. They sit around and laugh. They know how this.
They know.
Look, they'll as long as they get the votes.
Yeah, man. It's always funny to me when I get those calls. I'm like, nah, it's not gonna work. That's not gonna
I
work.
don't know. I like that damn Lost Daughter though.
Do you really? I liked Olivia Colman. I wasn't necessarily in love with the movie.
No, I like Olivia Colman and Dakota Johnson. Dakota's fine though. Maybe I'm leaning on the fineness.
So wait a minute, man. Power the Dog, man, is out.
No.
So I know that was one of your favorites, man, because we talked about that. Charles, look at
Hey, look, Sean's face looks like mine when I came out the film. I was like, "What was that?"
I think both of y'all are off the mark, missing the point. So, Sean, Nightmare Alley. What did you think about that one?
No.
That's the same way I walked out. I was like, no.
Nothing happened to the last 10 minutes. And I know they want to give Bradley Cooper an Oscar really badly, but that ain't the one.
Now, word on the street is that this is Will Smith's year, man. And from what I've watched, Will is definitely getting nominated. I think he's got a good shot to win. You shaking your head already.
No, there's an Anthony Hopkins out there lurking.
Oh, you mean Benedict Cumberbatch?
Somebody.
I don't know who it is. There's an Anthony Hopkins. Remember how everybody's like, Chadwick's a lot. Then the night of the show, it's like, and the winner is Anthony Hopkins. There's an Anthony Hopkins out there. Will's not winning.
And you know what's really sad about the Chadwick Boseman? They thought, even the producers of the show were like, "Oh yeah, we ready for this Chadwick Boseman." They switched the order because they knew they had this one locked down. So you talking about somebody that was disappointed? Anthony Hopkins. Damn.
Well,
Anthony Hopkins was disappointed. He was like, "What? Me? What were they thinking?"
He put the video out the next day too. He was like, "Man, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't come to the thing." It was from his house. He said, "I didn't even fly to America." He's like, "I didn't have no part to this." He's like, So,
and it was the same thing this year, to a lesser degree at the Emmys, when you had Michael K. Williams and people were like, no.
No.
Not the same thing?
No, that's not the same thing. No, I mean, Will's in good shape. I just don't think he's going to win it. I don't know. We'll see.
Sean, I'm telling you now, man, I think it's him. I mean, I've seen these performances. I don't know which one is better. Garfield is great in Tick, Tick, Boom, but Will Smith, man.
Garfield ain't no good in that movie. I hated that movie.
But you know what's really interesting to your point? There always is an Anthony Hopkins, because I thought Denzel Washington was going to win his third Oscar about 3 years ago, and they put The Sex Offender up there, and he won for a movie that I won. I'm calling it like it is. Was he a sex offender? Yes, he was. So, and I didn't like that performance, and I'm still a little salty behind that as well. But the Academy does what the Academy does every year, man. They do.
Man, West Side Story, man. They love that movie.
West Side. You didn't like West Side Story?
No, I didn't say I didn't like it. I mean, it's technically proficient. It didn't have no soul, though.
It's interesting to say that. I thought he improved upon the original, and from what I was trying to figure out the changes, and they said that he shot it based on the 57 play versus the 61 movie. So I thought the changes actually worked. Also subbing in Rita Moreno.
But did it suck you in though?
Well,
I don't think it was going to suck you. I don't think it's going to suck you in because you know the story.
Yeah, you know the story. The story.
So you just wait to see how it's going to play out. That's basically how it was.
And people, I think, went in there with the expectation from everybody I talked to. Everybody thought it was going to be a disaster, and we were all surprised when it was not a disaster.
No, who thought it was going to? No, Steven Spielberg don't do disasters.
Well, even when I say a disaster, Sean, I'm talking about looking at the actual story, and I'm thinking, like, what is Spielberg going to do? And like, because I'm thinking, is he going to change the time? Like, how do you tell that story, keeping the same kind of structure and then making it work? But he actually did it. I was surprised.
No, he wasn't trying to do that hip opera thing they did, where they did Carl Jones in modern time.
Sean, do you ever get in trouble, man, for just being too dang opinionated?
No, but he wasn't. Hip hopper was a mess. That was a mess.
Man, first of all, Beyonce started in that, and we try to always be complimentary in this space for Beyonce because they have come for us in the past. So that was not me. That was Sean.
Who came for you?
You see him point. Look,
People on Twitter.
They came for him.
Like,
they're not coming for me.
Twitter ain't real. So for all you Beehive people, Beyonce sucked in hip hop. And y'all know she did. And she sucked in that gospel movie. She sucked in that. The one with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
The Fighting Temptations.
The Fighting Temptations.
I love Shawn. Twitter's not real. It pretty much is not. But
on Twitter, Beyonce sucked in Austin Powers.
damn.
She's only good in Dreamgirls.
Yeah.
She's only been good in Dreamgirls. Let's keep it real. Cadillac Records, she was marginal.
Wow, man. So when we go back, we got to put this in the notes. Like, yes, and we also have a Beyonce section of the show.
I like what her husband. I think her husband's going in the right direction, though. I mean, this whole producing thing. I mean, The Harder They Fall is my favorite movie. No, I know it's not. The Harder They Fall is my second favorite movie. Summer of Soul is the best movie this year. Period.
I agree. That documentary is super special.
Summer of Soul is the best movie of the year. I don't care what anybody says. And The Harder They Fall is my second favorite movie. So, and the movie that's going to win Best Picture is going to be Belfast. It's going to be Shakespeare in Love versus Saving Private Ryan all over again. Spielberg's West Side Story's going to get 12, 13, 14 nominations, but Belfast's going to win Best Picture.
Wow. All right, you heard it. You heard it from the man. He's an Oscarologist. He's a film critic. He's an executive.
I am not an Oscarologist.
Wait a minute. You were part of Gold Derby's Oscarologist. What last time I checked?
Is that what they call it? Oh,
yeah. You're an Oscarologist. You, Wilson Morales, a couple other people. Y'all are Oscarologists.
I figured this is a family show. I was about to say something, Bubba. Family show.
Did it start with an F and end with Oscars?
No, not.
No, it was the BS. Is what he's about to call it.
Hey man, Shawn Edwards, bro.
That either. It was like it's got yeah. Good.
Now, Shawn, remember that the other members of the 500, the people who are in the 520 member Critics' Choice Association are going to watch this.
I know. Well, don't
so
you
there you go. Huh?
No, I love our members. Our members are great. So, and while we on here, since we got this partnership with it's so long. I wish they shortened it. Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, and Voodoo. Out of the honorees, whose list do you want to curate?
You can give me any of them. It doesn't really matter. I mean, seriously.
All right, do Antoine Fuqua.
His films?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty simple.
Just do his five. What are Antoine Fuqua's 5 best movies that people should watch?
All right. Well, I tell you. So do you need it written, or because we do a show? We have a segment called Top 5, so we can do Antoine Fuqua coming up pretty soon.
No, you don't have to write anything. You just a brief synopsis on why you like Antoine's films, but 50 words or less, and then just the 5 movies you recommend people to watch. Because people don't read, so it ain't no need of writing all that. Just you got people like lists.
I can't believe, man, of all the people, you would give me Antoine Fuqua, who I actually have met, and he's going to be there on Monday, right?
Yeah, you don't want him?
I mean, I'll take Antoine. I mean, Antoine is easy. I mean, I thought you were going to give me a challenge. Is there somebody that's a challenge?
Keenan Thompson.
Oh, that's hard. What do you want? His 5 best characters on SNL?
Nah, it's gotta be movies. I was like, Keenan might not make the cut. I don't think
Keenan doesn't have it. I mean, Mr. Goodburger is probably like, how many movies did Keenan do?
I don't know. All right, well, do Antoine. Yeah, everybody's not gonna make the cut on that one. Do Antoine.
I'll do Antoine Fuqua, man. Charles, we can do a top 5 on Antoine Fuqua and just write it out for Shawn, and then we'll just deliver it on air. So it's no big deal.
Sounds right.
All right, cool. I'm gonna send that email later today. All right, cool. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Bro, I appreciate you, man. It's always a pleasure, bro. And I will talk to you over the weekend.
I'll see you out there. I got to put my. I'll see you on Monday.
Got it. All right, bro. You take care, man. It's always a pleasure, man. Come back soon, man.
Yeah, they knocking on the door, so I gotta get out of here.
All right, bro.
Get fired.
Go. All right.
Peace.
All right. Later.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Not a problem. And that is Shawn Edwards, man, executive producer, and so many other things, man. So we just did an entire show. We don't really even have enough time right now, man, to do our movie reviews. You saw me trying to go buy Shawn, but Shawn, he wanted to kick it, man.
Shawn, man. A sold out show he's got going on at this Celebration of Black Cinema. So congratulations to him.
Bruh, when you heard me talking about the first one, or we were talking about the first show, the thing that I thought was really cool, because we had never had like a separate show. So the Celebration of Black Cinema, now you have all these different awards at CCA, the Super Awards and this award and that award that they're like doing all these separate shows. But Celebration of Black Cinema was the first one. And I remember me, Travis Hobson, Wilson Morales, Shawn Edwards. I'm trying to think. Rebecca Theodore Vachon. So I have the pictures of all that. We didn't take any audio. I may have taken some audio when the ladies from 20 Feet from Stardom performed, but I know by now I've gotten rid of that. But it was a cool room, Charles, because they had a step and repeat out there, and there's just lots of funny stories that happened that night. They had a swag room, which was really interesting this first year, right? You got a ticket from somebody, and you would go to the up the stairs and up to the third floor of the House of Blues. And they had a room where you just would go in there, man, and I'll take one of those and one of those and one of those. So I remember we went up in there, me, Wilson, and a couple other people, we were grabbing swag, and we were coming back. And I think for whatever reason, we might have came through the wrong door and we got locked out, so we couldn't get back in. And that's why I was laughing about Penny Marshall, because Penny Marshall opened the door and my expression must have been, what the hell are you doing? Why are you on the other side of this door? But it was funny. It was funny. So I remember Monica Calhoun was there. Robert Townsend was there. The ladies from 20 Feet from Stardom. He really didn't have it wasn't really a huge roster. It was like something brand new that we were doing. And I remember that it was such a spirit of fun. And plus there were a whole lot of other crazy things that happened on the red carpet after the show with people, I'll just say, Charles, who had too much to drink. And I was like, can you get off me? I don't know who you are. It was a wild, wild night. And I also remember, shout out to my man, Eamon Joseph, who now is on, what's the show with Damson Idris, Snowfall. He at the time, he and I had spent a lot of time that night because I had been watching him in Zane's, what the heck is the name of that show that Zane used to have, that kind of like after hours sort of show with all the sex in it. And, so me and Eamon Joseph, there were plenty of jokes flying between he and I that night regarding that, but he was there. And I think that was probably the first time I had interviewed him, but that was the first time we'd ever kind of met. And we've been cool to this day. He's a part of our Black Real Award Voting Academy, was a presenter last year on the show. So these sorts of events are a lot of fun. But to this, what my point was with Shawn is that we had never done one that honored this many people, man. It's like maybe about 25 or 30 honorees that are going to be there, or people that are just in the room. So it's a huge, huge outlay of talent. When you're talking about Will Smith, Halle Berry, Regina King, Idris Elba, I'm trying to think just off the top of my head, Jennifer Hudson. I mean, there's a lot of talent in the room for this celebration.
Barry Jenkins, it just goes on and on.
Yeah, so I really wanted to celebrate Shawn because, again, as a guy who has my own awards instrument, I understand how hard it is, man, in order for people to do something, conceive an idea, and then breathe life into it. It's not easy, man. It really is not. And the fact that, this is a brother, Shawn and I think now probably have been like, we've known each other, kind of known of each other for over 20 years. but we've really gotten closer over the last, I would say 10 to 15 of those. Wilson, who should have been here as well, is another guy that's been in the space. So like I said, you heard me earlier, Jamal Finkley, Wilson Morales, Shawn Edwards, the four of us have kind of been in this space, man, collectively, like for about 20 to 25 years, man, doing this stuff. And, you know, Charles, you always hear me say that we're always trying to identify talent and trying to pass this stuff down, man. I mean, you know, Wilson and I talk about that offline a lot about, you know, what we need to do for the next generation, because somebody's got to pick up the mantle and keep on moving this thing forward, man. But, you know, you got years like 1991, you heard Shawn talking about 2013. I think the big breakthrough, though, happened Black Panther year 2018, and the industry has not looked back. Even in a relatively slow year in 2019, it was still a lot of content, and now there's an explosion of content.
Yeah.
So I've talked a lot, Charles. What do you have to say about any of this stuff? Because you didn't get a lot of Shawn questions in.
I could have asked him about 3-6 Mafia and the Bone Thug and Harmony thing happened. You know, he may not. He would have had a comment on it, but it wasn't going. All I can say is, I guess we won't be seeing Beyonce at this next celebration of Black cinema or anyone coming.
Bruh, look, I ain't saying nothing. I mean, you know, we, as you know, every year when we announce our nominations, you know, there's a huge kind of outlay, and folks who love Beyonce, every time Beyonce is in the running, you know, there's this huge spike of interest. There are two things, Charles, that I've noticed that give us huge spikes of interest every year, right? Well, actually three. One is if we have a nominee that is from outside of the country, like say somebody from the African continent. Every time we've had nominees from the continent, you know, we get a huge spike in people because, you know, it's a big deal for them to kind of come to America, you know, do these projects, and then those projects be recognized internationally, right? The second,
or even when they're doing projects there and it recognizes, you know, their country.
Right. The second spike is always if, take for instance, there's someone that we've nominated or who has won, who is very notable, and then that person is very active in, like, you know, being magnanimous, like, oh my God, I can't believe we won, and they're like retweeting. So we get a huge spike when that happens. And, you know, you heard him talking about Robin Thede. I can't wait to meet her because Robin Thede was really pro Black Reel Award earlier this year. Actually, several months ago when we had the television awards, and a Black Lady sketch show did very well.
Very well. Very well.
Then finally, the third spike is anytime Beyonce is nominated or in the running, you'll get texts or tweets like the ones that started circulating, Charles. I think I told you this about 2 or 3 weeks ago. All the people were like, you know, this is Beyonce's year. You know, she got this song coming out. It's like, and then they started retweeting Black Reel Awards, and I was like, what is going on? And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Hey, man, it's a responsibility that I do not shirk from. Shawn doesn't shirk from it, and any other member organizations, you don't shirk from it, man. You love people to see what you're doing, support what you're doing, and, you know, be on the lookout. I mean, you heard him say about West Side Story getting multiple nominations. I think the big film this year, and I can't put a number on it, I think Cordell has predicted, we did an over-under on 17, right? Because 17 is the record that Black Panther established back in 2019 for nominations. Right. And I asked them this year, the harder they fall, over-under, is it 17? I think Harder They Fall is going to be a humongous nominee by virtue that you got. What is
you're gonna have double nominees in some categories in your supporting actor, actress. You could have double nominees in there. So the number, yeah. I mean,
you got six principal characters in this thing. It's written, directed, scored, production design, costume design. I think A Harder They Fall is going to do very, very well. That's all I can tell you. And I think King Richard would have done very, very well, except that it won't get a screenwriting nod because, you know, we're not going to honor the guy that wrote the screenplay, but it could be up for director, picture, you know, multiple actors in there. You got breakthrough candidates with Demi Singleton and Sanaa Sidney. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of Chuck. I don't see it doing what The Harder They Fall is going to do, but I think it could get. I think it's going to have double-digit nominations this year. So we'll be announcing the Black Reel Award nominations on Thursday, December the 16th. Cannot wait. Every year there's a highlight on nomination day to go through Twitter, and people are like, "Yay!" And then you have some people going, "Boo!"
Not as many boos for nominations as yays, because you know we get the boos when the awards come out. They say, "Oh, you shouldn't have picked this one," and you know. But
well, I think one of the boos that happens, and no disrespect to the film side, the television side is just, to me, almost like a bloodbath every year, because you're think about in the comedy category this year. This is the final season of Insecure. It's the final season of Blackish, and those are two comedy juggernauts, right? It's also the final season for This Is Us. You got Queen Sugar, which I think is coming down in the drama category as well. Television is tough. You know, the film side, you know, you sort of got, you know, a handful of movies every year, maybe 5 or 6 that really kind of fight it out. But in television, you're talking about comedy, drama, and television, movie, and limited series. Yeah. So, you know, and we're still early, Charles. It's December right now. So we don't know what, you know, if it's the Underground Railroad, When They See Us, you know, Genius Respect. Genius Aretha. There are always these projects, man, that come along that make television really, really challenging. But we are out of time right now. I think we may have gone over. Shawn Edwards took all the time away, so we weren't able to review.
Don't blame it on Shawn. Don't blame it on Shawn.
I'm blaming it on Shawn. Shawn went into a beehive rant. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not touching that one. Not touching that, bro. But Charles,
but we can sell this episode to Netflix and have Shawn Edwards have it come out as his stand-up debut.
All right. Well, Charles, we got 3 episodes left in 2021. So you know it's the best movies of the year, worst movies of the year, and then we're gonna probably next week we're gonna do part 2 of our best Christmas songs. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, man, as we amp down, bro. But as always, Charles, it's always a pleasure to be with you. We didn't get a chance to review any movies this week. We'll make up for it with something coming up before next week. Something. But thank you guys for taking a ride. 482 is a wrap. That was a lot of fun today. We will see you guys on the other side. And as we always tell you, please see something good at the movies. We talked about some movies. I mean, just kind of read in between the lines. You see what I did there? And just find something you'd like to see. But until next time, man, you guys take care and enjoy your weekend. Charles, you be safe in Vegas this weekend, man.
Thanks. You have fun in LA.
All right, bro. Will do. We will catch you guys all on the other side. Have a nice weekend. Bye.